So we were talking about this question. Now we're turning to the next question about this paragraph, question number 2, which asks about what is likely explanation for why lactate dehydrogenase or LDH is seldom used in clinical setting to detect the onset of myocardial infarction, right? So there are two things which you need to do when reading this question, by the way. First is the LDH. Now, the point is that the person who have done biochemistry before biology are very, very clear about the LDH, that LDH is an enzyme in biochemistry in your cell, which causes pyruvate to lactate interconversion, reversible, right? Pyruvate to lactate, reversible interconversion is caused by the LDH, right? Also, the seldom means less of, seldom means less often, right? Less often or less likely, right? Okay, so if you understand these things, then you can read the options and can give the right answer, right? Again, reading the question, what is the likely explanation for why LDH is less often used in clinical setting to detect the onset of myocardial, right? So if you go before going over these paragraph, these options, if you know that LDH has almost 4 isozymes, right? Isozymes means one version of the LDH is particular for the cardiac. Other version of the LDH is particular for the skeletal muscle and 2 more versions, right? So because this thing, I already taught in biochemistry when I was talking about the glycolysis and the phase of the pyruvates. So my students basically know this answer before going over the question or before going over the options. That it is not specific for the cardiac tissue injury. And this is going to be the answer because you are having many isozymes of LDH. Means your heart contains a LDH, your skeletal muscle also contains a LDH. So the point is that if your heart is punctured, right? If your heart is punctured or you are having infarction, then some of the things of the heart ooze out into the blood, right? So you can see that if the LDH level in the blood is high, right, then there's a sign of any injury. But it is not specific for the cardiac tissue injury because you are having just another and very similar version in the skeletal muscle. So we cannot sure if your blood is containing high levels of LDH. We cannot be very sure that whether this LDH comes from the heart, whether this LDH comes from the skeletal muscle, right? So that's why it is less likely. And because my students know this, so we need not to go back to the paragraph. The ones who do not know this, if they go to the paragraph, they will find a one line written about these enzymes. And I think it is the last paragraph, yes, of this question, which talks about like other biomarkers of myocardial infarction that are no longer used or have uncertain clinical relevance include LDH along with many others, right? So no longer used means they do not give the accurate idea of any particular disease or the myocardial infarction which they are talking about. Yeah, it was simple.